Chapter 47. I drag Grace back to my room, narrowly avoiding anyone who might put us to work. Closing the door, I rest my school bag against the door as an early warning system. Okay, here's what you do, I say. Tell him to meet you in the hotel lobby before the ball. I'll do the same with Mum. Grace doesn't move. This isn't a good idea. Okay, 1, says I, Rick doesn't exist, so Rick has to vanish. 2, Mum meets Frank, but she sees Rick. 3, she also sees Rick for the liar that he is, because he's nothing like he said he would be. And 4, he's history. So she breaks it off. She doesn't get dumped. Grace nods. She has no choice. So I tell him to be in the lobby of the Drishog Arms Hotel, 9 p.m. Saturday. And I say the same to Mum as Rick. I sit down at the computer and log on to the site. I'll be the daft beggar wearing a silly smile and a rose. I type. She hates roses, I explain to Grace. They make her sneeze. Then why? Though, I'm not meant to know, am I? I mean, Rick wouldn't. Oh, yeah. Hey, Licky, shouldn't we tone it down? I mean, he's about to break her heart. The more over the top he is, the more she'll see through him and the less disappointed she'll be, I say. I slide over on the bed so Grace can take her turn on the computer. Go ahead, invite your ancient bookworm to the ball. If her glares mean what I think they mean, Grace is reluctant to start with me watching. I pick up a book and pretend to read, but it's hard not to peek. Dear Munchkin, she types. Oh, please, says I. What does he call you if you call him Munchkin? Are you his little Oompa Loompa? Grace lifts her hand off the keyboards. Am I doing this? Yeah, sorry. Go sit by the door, she says, and turn away. So I do. For ages. She's either writing it over and over or making tons of mistakes. You don't have to write a novel, I say. Grace places her hands on her lap again and looks at me with eyes of steel. Where did her sense of humour go? She must be on a sugar low. You could leave the room while I write, she says. It's my room. I don't want to leave. Besides, Mum's everywhere these days. Please, she says. It's the last time I'll speak to him. I want to do it right. Okay, I'll wait downstairs. Reluctantly, I drag my bones out of the one safe place in Drishog. But don't forget the rose. Mum's checking bookings in the office. She might not have seen Rick's email yet. Now, says one of the whales on the desk. Tell her the truth now. Mum? A commotion explodes behind me in the lobby as the band that nearly didn't make it bursts in with all their equipment. Mum rushes out to stop them with a, sorry, just a minute, Angelica. And, no, not in here, in the ballroom, to them. She's up to 999 votes per syllable, but she still has time to shout back as she whooshes the musos out. He's coming to the ball! And her face is all lit up inside. The next few days are a blur. Yes, we teens go to school, but nobody gives us homework because we're either using all our waking hours finishing festival stuff. So the hotel is booked out, as is Kitty's pub and every B&B for a 5-mile radius. Jonas is running a party bus to bring people home from the various events. There's even a small campsite designated on a fallow field to the left of town, as far from the sea and the cliff as they could put it, just in case. On Thursday evening, Guppy welcomes Drishog's guests from the stage that has been built between the war memorials and declares the festival officially open. She looks regal, as if she's been waiting for this event all her life. Mum's up next with Chris to run through the weekend's highlights. The open-air cinema in the far field launches with brief encounter at midnight, tonight with Casablanca tomorrow lunchtime. There's music in Gaffney's and Kitty's pubs. A night tour of Guppy's site starts from the hotel at 9, with a complimentary cocktail at the end. For those who want a different kind of wildlife, Mr. Ganley has organised a flotilla of small boats to ferry visitors out to find frolicking whales. Tomorrow begins with a druidic ceremony of light at the Dolmen at dawn. Big Brenta's ecumenical service takes place on Sunday morning on the cliff top. In the marquee and on the stage, events will run all day from 11. They include a cocktail competition, trad sessions, a local blues band, a workshop on making aphrodisiacs and casting spells. Crowning the whole affair at 8 p.m. on Saturday night is the big Drishog Love Fest ball in the ballroom of the Drishog Arms. All of this is filmed by Oni's friends. This is what they do, he says, film everything and then find the story. If only they knew. Friday dawns, crisp with a clear blue sky. The festival's brought hundreds into town and they are all having the time of their lives. Noisily. So are the town's inhabitants, both those with businesses profiting and those who are single or musical, thriving on the buzz. Kitty's blind daters stroll into town at 7 p.m. By the time they start scouting for their first dates, dusk is casting a romantic haze over the street and the marquee in front of the hotel is humming with new agers concocting aphrodisiacs. At the far end, there's a group learning how to imitate whale songs on panpipes. But the less said about that, the better. Grace and I are kept too busy by our mums to even text each other. If I could forget what's going to happen or not happen tomorrow night, it'd be fun. Insert on throwing stones. Every situation is different. Ideally, you need a piece of flint or at least the flattest stone you can find. It should be lacking roundness, serrations, bumps, or personality. Finding the right stones works well for sorrow as well as for fear and dread. It takes just enough thought and concentration to skim the edge of the emotion, temporarily. When the stones dance over the surface, it's so beautiful that you don't feel like a failure for a moment or two. For anger management, however, you need a medium to heavy stone. It has to make a satisfying thump when it hits the water and create ripples that will disturb small fish in China, but still fit snugly into the palm of your hand. But steer clear of really heavy stones. They will hurt your shoulder, your elbow, and your wrist, and they will always fall humiliatingly short. No matter how mad you feel, adding humiliation to anger or sorrow isn't a great idea. To be continued.